Why is someone crazy enough to travel the world on his or her own, especially as a female? Stay tuned and I'll let you know why I do it and why you should maybe do it too. Hey my friend, even though it's not super revolutionary nowadays, most people still don't understand why one would ever want to travel solo. Most of them actually never even tried. So in this video I want to point out my 10 reasons why to travel solo, even though or especially if you're a female solo traveler. My first reason why to actually travel solo is why not? Of course, there are always so many reasons why you shouldn't do something, so many excuses why you shouldn't, but did you ever forget about all of them and just really ask yourself the question, why not? This can actually be transferred to life, because you always have reasons not to do something. But if you just know you want to do something, just ask yourself the questions, why not? Just go for it. So my second reason to go solo traveling is actually you do you. You only have to depend on yourself, you only have to deal with yourself, so you don't have to wait for hours. Example, you wanted to do this trip for such a long time, but either your friend has no money or is too busy, or there are so many reasons why somebody would not do it, and instead of waiting, you just do it on your own. You do whatever you like, you don't need to do any compromises. You can do whatever you want. If you want to stay in the hostel the day because you're tired from partying all night, so be it. If you want to go to the 100th church, go for it. You can do whatever you want and you don't have to deal with anybody else unless you want to. Reason number 3 is you are not really alone. You make friends so fast, you have no idea, because on the one hand you just have to. You have to talk to people because you need help at some point on your journey, and on the other hand people are easier to talk to you and you are easier to talk to them. So the connection is built way faster than when you have already your buddy with yourself. It's easier to talk to them because you have to, but also most of the time when you're traveling alone, you're living out your truer self. And so people connect to you on another level, especially when you meet other travelers. You have this basic connection already settled because you share the same passion. So at some point you will notice that it's not just about the where are you from, what's your name, what's your age. It's about deeper conversations and you get to those really quickly. And yeah, getting them is so much easier when you're traveling solo. And if you still miss your friends, we live in a digital age. Like, there has never been a greater time to still stay connected with your loved ones at home. You can do video calls, you can call them whatever, whenever. I mean, maybe they are sleeping, but if you miss them. Reason number 4 is actually connected to the reason before, because it's to get to know the culture better. And what better way could there be, because you have to talk to locals, as I said before, because at some point you need help. And so you get into contact with the locals, you may have to speak some simple words, some small talk to get to know them better. Maybe they invite you over to some dinner, some other adventures in their local area. Maybe you can even sleep at their homes, like with couch surfing, or maybe like it is in Cuba, where you can book like a casa particulares, which is basically a room in the home of this local family. And this way you just see how people are living, you understand why they do certain things, why they maybe don't do certain things. And yeah, it's just a really fast way when you're traveling solo to get into this. Reason number 5 is life starts outside of your comfort zone. It's a life mantra of mine forever. And it basically means as long as you're in your super comfy home comfort zone where you know everything, every step is so familiar, you basically do not grow. But if you put yourself out there into a new country on your own, you maybe don't even know the language, this is where growth is happening, because you basically just have to. And this is also when this magical moment happens. Like, you would never find yourself at dinner with some locals talking about amazing stories, connecting with people on a deeper level, if you never get yourself out there. Because this is where life is starting. Doing it as a solo female traveler, this is like discomfort times 1,000. But it's so worth it, believe me. At some point you look back and you're like, oh my god, I actually did all of that. I'm so comfortable now with things I used to be so afraid of. Things I never wanted to do because I was afraid, but now I actually enjoy them. So get outside your comfort zone and enjoy them as well. Reason number 6 is actually one of the most important ones. And I cannot emphasize this enough, and this is to develop a gut feeling. A gut feeling is something all of us have, but it's just not really trained well when we live in our everyday society, in our comfort zone. Because we don't have to rely on our instincts anymore, because everything is already planned. But sometimes I still have this feeling, like when I meet people, I'm not really sure what to think of them, or I don't really feel very well in a certain situation. This gets so much stronger when you're traveling solo, because you really have to depend on your instincts to get out there alive. Even though that sounds super dramatic, but it's the truth. Like, if you feel really safe in a situation, that's probably because you are. But if you have this gut feeling that something is not really right there, go away. Leave this place, no matter what, but you will develop this gut feeling even more the longer you travel, and that will save your ass, literally. Reason number 7 is actually you get to know yourself so much better. And I know it sounds super cheesy, like finding yourself and all that stuff, but it's true, and you should. Because you will get to know yourself in situations you've never been before, plus you're not under social pressure. Like, you don't have your family around, your colleagues around, your friends around that have known you your whole life. You are on your own, so you can really get to know yourself. What do you like? What do you don't like? How do you like to dress? How do you like to appear? How do you like to act with other people? You can basically be another person each and every day, because you never have to see those people again if you don't want to. And also, sometimes we just have to be alone, and we usually don't take that much of a time for ourselves. Of course, I think this whole COVID pandemic thing basically made it better for people to realize how much time they actually need for themselves. But in general speaking, I think we don't take the time we need for ourselves. But when you travel solo, you can choose way easier to be alone, even if it's on a longer bus ride, or you just go for a walk by your own, you take yourself out to dinner by your own. You really have the time to think, to reflect, and to find this inner peace again. And of course, this can be hard in the beginning, but I promise you, after some time, you will get used to be in your own company. You will actually like to be in your own company, because you really embrace how you are. You learn to love yourself. At least that's happened to me. And I'm sure you will enjoy your own company way more after some time. Another reason, right, to travel solo is to actually live in the moment. You forget about all kind of regulations, you forget about time. You actually start living in that moment, because there's no appointment you have to be. There is no friend who's like, oh, we need to do this and that to have our initiatory. You plan whatever you're doing. There will be some time in your travels where you're like, I just forgot what day it is. And then, my friend, is the most amazing feeling. Number 9 is to embrace every day, because you can live every day exactly the way you want to. You see how your perfect life can or could look like, so you can actually see where you want your life to be, and you can work towards that. And there is no one telling you, oh, you should not do that because you're alone, or you only talk to people that are like-minded to you. And reason number 10, my last and final reason, you learn to believe in yourself, because of course there will be tough challenges throughout your journey. That's just the way it is, and you have to be confronted with your fears, you have to be confronted with other people as well. But you will master it, you will get through with it. And if you then look back, you're like, oh my god, what I did is just amazing. You're gonna be a superwoman. So what are you actually waiting for? You can start right now, or maybe next week. Start, for example, taking yourself out to dinner one day, if restaurants are open. Or just do a weekend trip completely on your own. It doesn't have to be far away. It can be like in the next city or like 1 or 2 hours away. It doesn't have to be far away, but just get into it. It will be hard in the beginning. Of course, it will be hard because you're not used to it, but you will get there. And I can also make a video on how to travel solo, like tips and tricks for that if you want to. Let me know down there in the comments, and if you like this video, I would highly appreciate a like. If you want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button. And until next time, stay tuned, stay curious, and stay creative, my friend.